It's when you
what's the...
Oh, this. Oh, we're not keeping this audio in there. So if you guys want to upgrade your seats, and then I'll give you the thumbs up when you're all ready to come up into your little...
They're hard lines? They're hard lines?
Welcome everyone, living and ghouls alike. Tonight, FCP Radio is proud to present Night of the Living Dead, a radio drama based on the original screenplay by George Romero. We will be beginning in just a moment, but first we want to go over a few logistics. The radio drama is based off of the famous horror movie classic by George Romero and is adapted to the FCP radio stage. Tonight's broadcast and program is sponsored by the Greater Flint Arts Council Share Art Genesee Grant Program and is made possible by the Genesee County Arts Education and Cultural Enrichment Millage Funds. Your tax dollars are at work, folks. If you wish to make a donation to Flint Community Players to help continue productions like yours seen tonight, please go to the Flint Community Players website under Support Us. Please be aware that the show tonight might be scary for younger viewers and listeners, so parental discretion is advised. Don't worry though, everything you hear tonight is fictional and there's no such thing as zombies. Thank you. We hope you enjoyed tonight's show.
All right, come on, everyone. Let's finish those conversations and settle down. Lauren, finish up your knitting, will you? We talked about this. Jeez. Emma, quit flirting with everybody. Oh. Jeff, what did we say about chewing gum on the radio? Stage management says we're going live in 3 minutes. Sorry, everyone. My watch is off. We're going live in 10 seconds.
Okay, everyone, we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Good evening, boys and girls, and welcome to Flint Community Players' first annual Halloween radio show. On this grim evening, we are pleased to bring you an evening of spine-tingling tales that will keep you looking over your shoulders at night. Tonight's sponsors for our program include the White Horse Tavern and Greater Flint Arts Council. With that, toss a log on the fire, grab a blanket and some candy, and hold on tightly to someone nearby and let the wonderful world of Halloween come to life through state-of-the-art technology, radio. So sit back and enjoy Night of the Living Dead. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Oh man, that was one scary movie.
I'll say, who knew that technology could make those monsters look so real?
Hey, honey.
Yes, dear? Stop it! You scared the dickens out of me. Oh, now I don't feel so good. What if the monsters in that movie were real? I wish there was some place to go after a night of scary movies to relax our nerves.
Hey, I know the perfect place. Why don't we go to the White Horse Tavern in downtown Flint?
Of course! The White Horse Tavern is the perfect place to go for phenomenal atmosphere, fantastic service, and amazing food.
White Horse has the best selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner dishes. And don't forget to start your meal off with their delicious soups, salads, and chili.
And with their breakfast anytime menu, homemade pizzas and strombolis, and fresh ground burgers, the possibilities of mealtime are endless.
Have you had their corned beef, Ruben? Oh, it's so good, it's scary.
Well, what are we waiting for? The dead to come back to life? That'll be the day.
Had a long day of spooks and scares? Then come on down with your family to the White Horse Tavern in downtown Flint for a meal that will lift your spirits. The White Horse Tavern is located on West Court Street in Flint. The White Horse, so good, it's scary. We now present to you Night of the Living Dead.
Once upon a time, there was a world where people walked at night and weren't afraid of what ghouls might be lurking in the shadows, where churchyards were places of rest, where marble slabs remained firm and solid earth did not crumble and fall away. This is a story about the end of that world. The year is 1968 in rural Pennsylvania. The car of brother and sister Barbara and Johnny drives slowly through a rural cemetery. The siblings park their car, unaware of the horrors about to unfold.
They ought to make the day the time changes the first day of summer. Then 2 good things would happen all at once. I love long days and extra sun.
A lot of good the extra daylight does me. I lost an hour's sleep, and it's dark already. We still have a 3-hour drive. We don't get back till after midnight.
If it were really that awful for you, you wouldn't have told Mother you couldn't do it. Besides, Mother can't make a long drive like this. It's the least we can do.
Johnny fixed his polka dot tie and reached into the back seat and produced a flowered, cross-shaped grave ornament. In the center of the cross is written, "We still remember."
Look, $25 for this thing. We still remember. Bull. I don't remember what the guy even looks like.
Johnny, it's only once a year and it makes Mother happy. Plus, it'll take you 5 minutes.
Plus, 3 hours to drive here and 3 hours to drive back. Mother wants to remember, so we drive 400 miles to plant a cross on a grave. As if he's staring up through the ground to check out the decorations. What's he gonna do, climb out of the ground and thank us himself?
I'm going to find which row it is.
As Barbara leaves the car and Johnny takes a quick smoke, the radio staggers to life.
Hey, interrupt. Emergency. The state has. Avoid.
This thing must be broken.
Do you remember where the grave is, Johnny? I'm not too sure, and it's getting dark.
Don't ask me, you're the expert. I've been doing all the driving, remember?
Sometimes I think you complain just to hear yourself talk.
Shouldn't there be a groundskeeper you can ask? I don't see anybody else around.
Well, it is late. If you get up a little earlier and not sleep in all the time.
Hey, I already lost an hour's sleep when the time changed. Maybe if you and Mother didn't pester me so much about proper sleep schedule,
Oh, look, there it is.
Oh, good. Let me plant this and we can head out. I wonder what happened to the one from last year. Every year we spend $25 for one of these things. And the last one from last year, it's gone.
I wonder if the caretaker or somebody takes them away.
Yeah, a little spit and polish if they can sell them again. I wonder how many times we've bought the exact same one of these things.
Do you want to say a prayer with me, Johnny?
I already went to church this week, Barbara. Praying is for church. Say, you got any candy? I'm starving.
You are so childish.
As Barbara says a quick prayer at the grave, Johnny notices a strange man walking among the graves in the distance. A huddled figure shambles awkwardly among the graves, but does not notice Johnny and Barbara.
Remember when I used to jump out at you from behind that tree? I used to act like a big scary monster. Grandpa, he shook his fist at me and he said, "Boy, you'll be damned to hell." It was right at that tree over there. Remember, Barbara? You used to be really scared here.
Look, maybe we can ask that man over there if he's the caretaker. We should talk to him about these weeds all over Father's grave.
You're still afraid.
Stop it! I mean it!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're ignorant!
They're coming for you, Barbara. They're coming for you. Look, there's one of them now.
Stop it! He'll hear you!
They're coming out of the graves. After you. They're coming to get you. I'm getting out of here. Ah!
Excuse me, do you work here? Oh, if you could. What are you doing? Johnny, help me!
You crazy degenerate, get off of her! Run! Barbara, run! Get the car started! Hey, what are you doing? Let go of me!
Barbara ran, but Johnny didn't. He was too busy fighting the man, if a man it was. A man with staring eyes and an oddly pulpy body that absorbed the blows that were pounding into him. A body that stank more than any living being should. The man overpowered Johnny and bit and scratched into him, throwing Johnny down onto a rock and swiftly biting and scratching into Johnny's unconscious body.
Where are the keys? Oh no, Johnny still has them! Johnny, where are you?
Barbara went back to find her brother, only to find a body lying on the ground with an ominous figure towering over it. She did not need to wonder who the victor of the fight was, for she could see a large bite in the side of Johnny and red oozing from the man's mouth as the figure towered over him. Barbara had no time to care for her wounded brother as the figure began to shamble towards her, ghoulish hands outstretched. Barbara got to the car without keys and released the handbrake, put the car into neutral and set gravity into motion. It began to roll forward down the hill, gently at first but then faster as if it sensed the terror that was behind it. But hills do not go on forever. The road evened and the car came to a halt as if its brakes had been slammed on, but the shambling figure behind did not have brakes. It began to catch up to Barbara. Scanning the horizon, Barbara spotted a farmhouse not far away. To the left of the house was a gas pump. Barbara leapt from the car and ran until the solid wooden door from the farmhouse barred her flight.
Help me! Is anyone there? Oh, for heaven's sakes, help me! Oh, the door's open. I need to get away from that thing.
We take a brief break from your scheduled program to bring you a word from our sponsors.
All right, let's make sure we have everything for Halloween trick-or-treaters. We've got spooky decorations, toy spiders to put in the candy bowl. Our costumes are all ready to go upstairs.
Mom, did you forget the candy again this year?
Don't be silly. I bought a whole 2 bags, so we have a little extra to hand out.
Let me see what you have, Mom. Let me see. Ew. Mom.
What is it? Is there something wrong with the candy?
Yeah, there is. You got the boring kind. No kid is gonna want this boring, dull-looking taffy or these tiny pillow chocolates or these sugar-free wafers.
Oh, jeepers. I don't know what candy is hip these days. What do we do?
Whoa!
Who in the dickens are you? Some kind of elf?
Oh no! I'm the spirit of Halloween! Don't worry about that boring candy. I have just the solution. Hocus pocus!
What are those?
It's Almond Joy. Almond Joy is the tasty candy with toasted fresh almonds, shredded coconuts, and covered in rich, delicious milk chocolate. Try one.
Mmm.
Trick or treat! Wow! Are those Almond Joy?
They sure are.
Way cool!
You can say that again.
Way cool!
Almond Joy are totally far out and groovy.
Mom!
Almond Joy, the 5-minute vacation. Available wherever candy is sold near you.
We now return to Night of the Living Dead.
Is anyone home? Please, there's a man outside. We need to call the police. Anyone? Oh, good. There's a phone.
I'm sorry, the lines are busy. Please hold. I'm sorry, the lines are busy. Please. I'm sorry, the lines are busy. Please hold. I'm sorry.
Stupid piece of trash! Hello? Is this your home? Please, I need your help.
Don't move. Are you one of them?
What?
Are you one of them? I've seen them. They look just like you and me.
I don't.
It's a simple yes or no question.
Please, sir. My brother and I.
Answer the question. Are you one of them? Did you get bit? Ma'am, I need an answer.
What is wrong with you? My brother is dead, and the man who killed him is sitting under that tree out there like nothing happened, and all you can think to do is yell at someone you just met. And now it looks like there are 2, no, 3 of them. What do they want?
Okay, calm down. I promise I'm not one of those ghouls out there. I'm not gonna hurt you. My name's Ben. Don't you mind that creep outside, I can handle him. But there's probably gonna be lots more of them. But we'll be okay if I can get some more gas. My truck's about dry. Do you have the key for that pump out there?
What are you talking about?
The gas pump out front. It's locked. Give me the key and I can gas up and you and me can get out of here.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't live here. My brother is dead, and the man who killed him is sitting under that tree watching us, and all you can talk about is a stupid gas pump?
We need to get out of here and get to where there's some folks with guns or food or...
What was that?
Oh, I had 2 more of them. And they're attacking my truck. Listen, lady.
Barbara.
Barbara. How many more are out there, do you know? I can handle 2 or 3 of them. How many more are out there? That truck is our only chance to get out of here, and they just smashed the lights. Barbara!
I don't know. I don't know what's happening, okay? I don't know.
Suddenly, the front door flings open, and another one of the creatures lumbers into the house. It reaches forward with gnarled hands, and Ben and Barbara see the creature's form for the first time up close. They are dead things. The flesh of their faces is rotting and oozing. Their eyes bulge from deep sockets. Their hair is long and clothing is rotted and tattered, and the stench of the body is nauseating. Ben tries to push the creature from the house, but the ghoul overpowers him and throws him to the ground like a rag doll. The screams of Barbara attract the lumbering creature as it moves slowly towards Barbara. Suddenly, from the kitchen, another monster appears and grasps towards Barbara. Backing herself into a corner, she searches for an escaper but finds none as the monsters hone in on the next meal.
Get away from her!
With one swift motion, Ben grabs a nearby crowbar and smashes it into the first monster's head, where it falls to the floor, finally defeated.
Barbara, quick! Lock the door!
As Barbara charges the doors to lock them, Ben narrowly avoids the claws of the shambling dead monster and finishes it off with a swift blow to the head. And then another. And then another.
I'll get you! I'll get you all! Barbara, are the doors locked?
Yes, and all the windows are closed, but there are more of them out there.
They know we're here. Thank you for getting those doors. Who knows how many more would have gotten in if you didn't act quickly.
Well, thank you for fighting off those monsters. I would have been a meal if you didn't get there when you did. What are these things, and why did they kill my brother?
Here, help me board up these windows and doors, and I'll tell you what I know. The news stations tried to report on this. There must have been 50 or 100 of them down in Cambria when the news broke. I jumped in my car and turned on the radio. Things came out of nowhere. It seems like nothing scares or stops them. This one's good. Let's board up the next window. But they are scared of fire. Found that out. I was at this place called Beekman's Diner. I was listening to the radio and this big gasoline truck came screaming down the road. Must have been 10, 15 of those things chasing after it, grabbing and holding on. I didn't see them at first. I just saw the truck was moving in a funny way. And the truck, it flew right past me. I guess it must have cut off the road into that gas station by Beekman's Diner. Tore right through a gas pump. Never stopped moving. It was like a moving bonfire. I didn't know if the truck was going to explode or what, but those things backing away from the fire, like they were afraid. I looked back to the diner to see if anyone could help me save the driver, but that's when I noticed that the diner was encircled. There wasn't a sign of life left, and no more screams. And that's when I realized I was alone with 50 or 60 of those things standing there, staring at me. I started to drive and I plowed right through them. They didn't move. They didn't run. They just stood there, staring at me. They just scattered through the air like bugs.
We were riding through the cemetery, Johnny and me. We came to bring some flowers to our father's grave. And Johnny, I got so mad at him for wearing that silly polka dot tie to Father's grave. And he asked me for some candy, and I just got angry at him. And he said it was late, and he asked why did we start so late. And I said, Johnny, if you had gotten up earlier, we wouldn't be late. And Johnny tried to scare me, and I said, I'm not afraid. And that's when this man started walking up the road. He was walking so slowly, and Johnny kept teasing me, saying, "He's coming to get you, Barbara." And he ran away. And I went up to the man because I was going to apologize.
You don't need to go on if it's too much.
And then the man grabbed at me and ripped at me, and I screamed, "Johnny!" And Johnny fought the man, and I got so afraid, I just ran. I ran and I left him behind. Oh, please, we need to go find him. You need to help me find Johnny. Please, he's out there. We have to go out and get him. What if he's still alive?
Don't you know what's going on out there? This isn't some Sunday school picnic.
Don't you understand? My brother is out there alone.
Your brother is dead.
Barbara slaps Ben's face hard. Ben pauses. There is tension lingering in the air as each try to figure out what to do next.
Look, I'm sorry. You don't look well. Why don't we take you upstairs and you can rest in one of the bedrooms? And when you feel better, you can come down here and help me.
No, I'm all right. I think I would feel safer if I stayed down here with you. I can't stand the thought of those things outside, waiting. I think I'm going mad.
No, you're not. I promise. Look, how about you look around for some more wood while I get this radio working? Try that closet over there. I know how you feel. About your brother. I have kids. And I just want to know they're safe. I have to believe that those things didn't get them, you know? That's all we can do. So, if you need to talk.
Ben!
What is it? Is it one of those things?
No, something else, something good. Oh, something really good.
A rifle? That is good. Do you see any shells?
A whole box.
You know, this could be a whole lot worse. Good find. Here, I got the radio on. Let's see if there's any more news.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Hey families, are you looking for some fun family entertainment this holiday season? We have just the program for you. This December, Flint Community Players is proud to present a Brothers Grimm fairy tale double feature, Little Red Riding Hood and Jack and the Beanstalk. Two classic stories for the whole family to enjoy. The Brothers Grimm double feature will air on Flint Community Players' social media platforms December 11th and 12th and will be free for your viewing and entertainment. Want more information? Visit our website at www.flintcommunityplayers.com. The Brothers Grimm double feature, adaptation by Megan Donahue and directed by Trisha Rogers, coming this December to your homes, just in time for the holidays.
We now return to Night of the Living Dead.
This is the Emergency Radio Network. Normal broadcast facilities have been temporarily discontinued. Law enforcement agencies urge you to remain in your homes, keep all doors and windows locked or boarded shut, and use food, water, and medical supplies sparingly. Remain indoors and do not attempt to leave your homes or make use of automobile vehicles. Reports inform us that the siege, first documented in the Midwestern section of the country, is indeed spreading across the nation and may in fact be a worldwide pandemic. Medical and scientific advisors have been summoned to the White House, and reporters on the scene in Washington inform us that the President is planning to make public the results of that conference in an address to the nation over your civil defense emergency network. The strange beings that have appeared in most parts of the nation seem to have certain predictable patterns of behavior. Eyewitnesses say the assassins appear to be ordinary-looking people. Some say they appear to be in a kind of trance. Hypotheses as to their origin and their aims as of this point have been so varied and diverse that we must report these factors as unknowns. Teams of scientists and physicians presently have corpses of several of the monsters, and these corpses are being studied for clues that might negate or confirm existing theories. If these beings have not yet evidenced themselves in your area, please take every available precaution. Attacks may come at any time, in any place, and without warning. These beings are easily distinguishable from humans by their deformed appearance. They have appeared to not be led by any organized army and do not seem to be motivated by any plan or reason. Indeed, they seem to be driven with the urges of obsessed minds to attack living beings. They do appear to be able to be immobilized, that is, by blinding or dismembering with blunt force to the head or brain area. If encountered, they are to be avoided or destroyed if the possibility arises. Under no circumstances should you allow yourself or any family members to be alone while these creatures prevail. Ghastly reports indicate that these beings appear to be flesh eaters and have been reported to eat the flesh of the victims they kill. I repeat, these alien beings are seen to be devouring the flesh of victims.
The door. Ben, the door over there. It's opening.
The cellar door? Oh, I didn't think to check the cellar door.
Someone's coming out. What do we do?
Come on out, you monsters!
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! We're not one of those things. It's all right. We're from town.
Shut up! I need to listen to the radio.
How long have you been down there?
Well,
I could have used some help up here.
Now, we've been hiding in the cellar. It's the safest place in the house. You can't hear a thing down there, so please shut up so I can hear the radio.
Oh, that's great. You two are all tucked up in the cellar while we've been busting our butts trying to make this place safe. Did you hear all the racket we were making up here?
How are we supposed to know what's going on up here? It could have been those things for all we know.
Right. The undead practicing carpentry. That sounds logical. That girl was screaming. Surely you know what a girl sounds like. And those things don't scream. We could have used some help up here.
you can't really tell what's going on from down there.
We thought that we could hear screams, but that would have meant those things were in the house after her.
Now wait a minute. You just said you couldn't hear a thing down there, and now you say you could hear a ruckus going on. I suggest you get your story straight. You heard screams for help, and you wouldn't come up to help.
Look, mister, we came up, okay? We're here now. So, I suggest we all go back downstairs before any of those ghouls find out we're here.
They can't get in here.
You got the whole place boarded up?
Most of it. All but upstairs. It's weak in places, but it won't be hard to fix up good.
You're insane. The cellar is the safest place in the house.
I'm telling you, those things can't get in here.
And I'm telling you, those things turned over our car. We were lucky to get away at all. Now you're telling me they can't get through a lousy pile of wood.
Please excuse Harry. He doesn't mean anything by it. He's got a wife and kid downstairs. The kid's hurt pretty bad.
Yeah, I still think we're better off up here.
You know, we could strengthen all these up, Harry.
Yeah, with all of us working, we could fix this place up so nothing can get in here. We've got food, a fire, a radio.
We can bring most of that downstairs with us. Did you not hear me when I said that they turned over my car?
Oh, come off it. Any good 5 men could do that.
Yeah, but there's not going to be 5. There's going to be 10, 20, 30, 100. Who knows? Once they know we're here, the place will be crawling with them. Look, in the cellar, there's only one door. Only one. That's all we need to protect. Tom and I fixed it so it locks and boards from the inside. But with all these doors and windows, we wouldn't know where they're going to hit us next.
Harry, he's right though. In the cellar, we don't have anywhere to run to if they got in. Suppose those things come in. We can't bust out of the cellar door because if we open that one door, they'll all swarm in.
Enough! You two can do whatever you like. I'm going back down to the cellar. So you better decide what you're going to do, because I'm going to board up that cellar door and I won't open it no matter what happens.
Just as Harry's about to turn to the cellar, a pair of rotting gray hands lunges through the barricaded window, gripping and clawing towards the trapped victims.
Someone help me get rid of this thing!
Ben and Tom rushed to the window, crowbar and rifle in hand. It began to slam at the clawing hands, which were oblivious to the pain as they continued to grapple at the wood, trying to rip it free from the nails. Tom tore off the clawing hands from the body, but the monster felt no pain. Instead, it continued its assault on the wooden planks, then raised his rifle and shot a large hole into the rotting chest of the thing. It staggered from the window for a moment, appearing to be defeated, when it suddenly straightened its horrifying body and continued its approach. Ben and Tom could see through the beast's chest, but it still lumbered forward as if nothing happened. Ben fired again, smashing its hip as the thing fell awkwardly before crawling and hurling itself towards the house once more. Finally, Ben took aim at the head of the beast and fired a finishing blow into the monster. The thing's body finally hit the ground and ceased movement.
Harry? Harry, what is going on? Are you hurt?
I'm okay, Helen. Just meet me downstairs, honey. Oh, you idiot! That shot is going to draw them all to the windows. Now, we gotta get to the cellar. Let's grab food and head back down there.
Go ahead back into your cellar. But I'm staying here. And if you aren't staying up here, then don't touch that food. If I'm staying up here keeping us safe, then I'm going to be fighting for what's up here. So the food, the radio, and anything else I'm fighting for.
God, this man is insane. We've got to have food. We have a right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this your house? Do you have the deed on hand?
You're crazy. I have a kid down there who needs food and medicine.
Harry, please come into the cellar quick!
You know I won't open the door again, right? I mean it.
Harry, can you send Judy up, please? She'll want to be with me.
There's another person down there?
My girlfriend.
Judy, a frail young woman, walks up the stairs and past Harry. Harry angrily pushes past her, slams the cellar door, and locks it tight.
Ben, what if they starve down there? This kid sounds awful sick.
Yeah, don't worry about him. I know it's tight. Give him a day or less and he'll be up here whining for food.
Well, let's find some food for us right now then. I'm so hungry I could eat I'm really hungry, Giselle.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
There are too many of them, honey.
There must be 2 or 3 dozen of them swarming the house.
We need to make a break for it. Where should we go for a safe place from the zombies? Into town? To your parents' house? To that abandoned farmhouse?
I have a better idea. We should go to the White Horse Tavern in downtown Flint.
Of course! The White Horse is the best place to go for comfort and safety after a long day of fighting the undead.
With their wide menu of famous dishes and desserts, they have enough food options to feed a safe house full of survivors.
And not to mention their pizza, pasta, and stromboli made fresh in their stone ovens.
Did someone say White Horse Pizza?
That's right. White Horse's pizza, pasta, and stromboli. And don't forget, pizzas and strombolis are half off on weekends after 9 p.m.
White Horse is my favorite. Even more than brains. Have you had their homemade desserts? They're to undie for.
How about we all go share a treat?
Yeah!
After a long day of surviving ghouls and monsters, come on down to the White Horse Tavern on West Court Street in Flint to give yourself the boost of energy you need. The White Horse Tavern, so good you'll come back from the dead for more. We now return to Night of the Living Dead.
Harry locked the door and walked down the stairs to his chosen prison. Bent over a sink, wetting a handkerchief with cold water, was Helen, the wife of Harry. The faded woman looked up at Harry, but was more interested in the matter at hand. She takes the cloth to a table where a little girl lies motionless. The sound of the child's breathing was not a good sound.
Well, we're boarded back up tight. We should be safe. How's Karen doing?
She's very warm. I don't know if it's shock or something else. Maybe it's infection from that bite. Where are Tom and Judy?
They wanted to stay up there, so I say let them. There's 2 more of them up there, by the way. They wouldn't listen to me when I said that the cellar is the safest place. Too many ways those things can get in up there. So they want to stay up there, fine. We'll see who's right. We'll see when they come begging me to let them back down here.
That's what's important, isn't it? For you to be right and everyone else to be wrong. Does anyone up there know why we are being attacked?
All we know is whatever's going on here, it's happening everywhere. The radio said to stay inside.
Radio? There's a radio upstairs. You boarded us down here.
Yes, but
Harry, take those boards down. A radio is some form of communication. We need to know what is going on. How are we going to know what's going on if we lock ourselves in this dungeon? Harry, Karen needs help. She needs medicine or she is going to die here. We need to find a way out of here. We need to get her help now.
oh, yeah. All right, let's just pack up and walk out. I'll head downtown right now, and if any of those things run into me, I'll just say, "Oh dear, excuse me, my kid's sick and my wife is hungry. Will you please let me through? Maybe after we could get a coffee and get to know each other."
Harry, Helen, it's Tom. We've got food and some medicine up here, and we have a television set upstairs. If you would like to come up.
We'll be up in just a minute.
Are you out of your mind? All it takes is a minute. Those things get in and it's too late for us to change our minds. Don't you see we're safe as long as we keep that door sealed?
I don't care, Harry. I don't care. Karen needs help. Harry, we need help. Please, just for a minute. We'll get up and hear the television and maybe we can find a way to get out of here and help our daughter. Maybe with all of us, we can make it.
All right. We'll go up, but don't blame me if we all get killed.
Hello, Helen. My name's Ben. This is Barbara. Really glad you both changed your mind. Where's the little girl? How's she doing?
She's sleeping downstairs. She's very sick.
Judy's in the kitchen. I'll go get her so she can keep an eye on your daughter while you listen to the radio. You look like you could use a bit of a break.
Oh, thank you so much. Hello, Tom. Thank you for telling us about the television.
It's no trouble at all.
What's the story with that kind-looking girl? She seems like she's been through a lot. Barbara, was it?
Her brother was killed out there.
Oh, poor thing. Harry, did you hear that?
This place is ridiculous. There are a million weak spots up here.
Harry, quit caring only about yourself for once. If you're so concerned, why don't you do something to help them then?
I can't see a thing out there. There could be 50 million of those things. So much good these windows are doing us.
Shh! Everyone quiet. It's on.
Reports are coming in confirming that the widespread pandemic is not the result of mass hysteria. The waves of murders are in fact being committed by beings who feast upon the flesh of their victims. First eyewitness accounts of this grisly development came from people who were understandably frightened and almost incoherent. Officials at first discounted eyewitnesses' statements as being beyond belief. However, reports persisted, and medical examinations of victims confirmed that they have been partially devoured. We have some late word arriving. We interrupt to bring this to you. This is the latest disclosure in a report from the National Civil Defense Headquarters from Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of cannibalistic murder. Widespread investigative reports from funeral homes, morgues, and hospitals have concluded that the unburied dead are coming back to life and seeking out human victims to devour and feast on. One report states that at one specific morgue, a deceased man with ripped off arms and legs and severe blood loss opened its eyes and began its assault. It's hard for us here to believe what we are reporting to you, but it does seem to be a fact. When this emergency first began, radio and television was advising people to stay inside behind locked doors for safety. Rescue efforts are proceeding slowly due to the increased danger of nightfall and the sheer enormity of the task. Rescue for those in isolated circumstances is highly undependable. You should not wait for a rescue party unless there is no possibility of escape. If you are a few against many, you will almost certainly be overcome. The aggressors are irrational and without reason. Their sole urge is the quest for human flesh. We have live reports from Sheriff McClellan regarding the undead menace.
We have official reports that while inadvisable to attempt a head-on attack of these creatures, if self-defense is needed, they can be stopped. The beings are highly flammable and susceptible to incineration. If you have a good torch, they'll go up like wax paper. But the best course of action is to go for the head. A clean shot between the eyes or a clean cut to the neck will stop the creatures. However, it is noted that any other physical damage given to these creatures will not halt their pursuit. We also must stress to you that if any dead body is found, whether it be a victim of the undead assault or from natural circumstances, the body should be disposed of at once, preferably by cremation to avoid the possibility of reanimation. A reanimated corpse does not appear to be able to distinguish past ties and relationships and will attack any living creature it sees.
Well, how long then after death does the body become reactivated?
From what reports and eyewitnesses have told us, it's only a matter of minutes.
Minutes? Well, that doesn't give families any time to make arrangements for goodbyes or...
Oh yes, it doesn't give any time for any sort of funeral or grieving arrangements. But we must stress the importance of foregoing the traditions of grieving and to dispose of the bodies immediately. As awful as this is, we must reiterate that they are just dead flesh and will not stop to let you grieve. The National Guard is being deployed and individual groups are being sent out to hunt down the creatures and save any survivors. Me and my boys already took out 19 of them today. Help may take multiple days though. So if you have a large group of people, don't wait around for us to rescue you because, well, with the sheer number of these things, that may take days or weeks. So don't wait around for anyone if you are low on food or in any immediate danger. And I want to stress the importance of seeking medical help as fast as possible. If you or anyone in your party is hurt in any way, we don't know the medical repercussions that contact with these things are yet. So we advise you to seek out medical attention immediately. Or if you are at a safe location away from these beings who do not need to venture out, stay put, with the windows and doors locked and bolted, and try to get some sort of signal up so we know where you are. Rescue stations are being set up with food, shelter, doctors, medicine, and other necessities. And we will keep you updated of the locations of safe houses.
Thank you for the update, Sheriff. We will be with you every hour on the hour with reports of this national emergency as details unfold.
Well, you heard all we need to know. We gotta get out of here. We have a large enough group. We need to find somewhere safer.
I'm sorry, but who put you in charge? You just got here. I think we ought to stay right here and wait for a rescue party. We are just a few against tons of those things. We don't stand a chance.
But they said they have doctors and medical supplies at the safe locations. If we can find one of them, then they can help Karen.
Oh, sure. Carrying a sick child with a crazy lady in tow on foot. I see nothing wrong with that. Maybe those things will take pity on us, give us a ride to the city. Maybe they'll treat us to a nice picnic lunch.
Well, Harry, I don't see much option. I mean, we can't stay here. The nearest big town is about 10 miles away. They're bound to have a checkpoint there.
Tom, you're from around here?
Well, sure. Judy and I were swimming in a lake not too far from here when we saw those things moaning and limping towards the lake. We grabbed our clothes and ran to this old farmhouse. We knew the lady, but when we got here, she was gone. The body is upstairs, but we made sure she isn't coming back. Then Harry and his family showed up.
Well, then that's perfect. You can help us get to town. I say we go.
Yeah, and I say we stay here. No more discussion.
Your kid is sick downstairs and you just want to sit around doing nothing?
We would be dead before we even got 50 yards. How are we supposed to get out of here? We got 7 of us and 1,000,000 of them things outside. Unless one of you magically can pull a truck or something out of thin air, then I don't see.
My truck is right outside. But I am just about out of gas. Not enough to make it to the closest town. There's a pump near the shed outside, but it's locked.
Well, the key ought to be around here somewhere. I think I remember seeing a big key ring in the basement.
Tom, you take care of that. Harry and Helen, are there any jars downstairs?
Jars. Yes, I remember seeing some jars.
Good. Get those then. Judy, I need you to rip up some sheets and things. Barbara, Harry, I need you to find some kerosene. We're going to make ourselves some Molotov cocktails to scare those things back while we get the truck pumped full of gas. Harry, you're going to toss the cocktails outside the upstairs window to drive those things back.
But what about the door? If you're going out there, that means one of these doors has to be open. We'll be like sitting ducks.
Helen and I can stay here and protect Karen. I can lock the door after you leave so you can get back in quickly.
All right then. It's settled. Judy, you'll guard the cellar door, and Tom, you'll come with me to fill up the truck. And once we get back, we'll start loading everyone into the vehicle.
Well, I want the gun then. It is the best thing for me to use. You're not going to have time to stop and aim.
I'm keeping this gun. You won't lay a hand on it. We're going to need it more than you will.
Jeez, you don't care what happens to us. How do I know that you and Tom won't just gas up and get out of here with the truck and leave us behind?
You don't. That's a chance you have to take. That's what makes life so interesting. Besides, if we did leave, then you'll have your precious cellar all to yourself, just like you've been crying about all along. All right, let's get busy, everyone. Got a lot to do if we're going to make it out of here alive. We can do this.
And now, a final word from our sponsors.
And now it's time for another exciting adventure of Arlo and Airhead. Today's topic, voting. Voting time is just around the corner. Let's see what Arlo and Airhead are up to. Arlo plans out time in his schedule to vote. Airhead says he'll play it by ear and forgets it's voting day. Arlo leaves early and plans out his route. Airhead waits till the last minute and gets stuck in traffic. Arlo does his research into each candidate. Airhead does no research and doesn't even know their names. Arlo votes and gets a nifty I voted sticker, but Airhead got there too late and missed his chance to vote. This November, make sure you do your American duty and make a plan to vote. Remember to be an Arlo, not an Airhead.
We now return to the final act of Night of the Living Dead.
As the cold blanket of the night sky covers the hordes in darkness, the survivors work furiously on their tasks at hand, preparing for the escape of a lifetime.
They're getting the last of the fruit jars brought upstairs, honey. How are you doing?
All things considered, I'm doing fine.
You always have that smile, even now. How can you smile all the time?
As long as we're together, I can find something to smile about, to hold on hope for. Tom, is the phone still not working?
The phone is dead out. All you get is a recorded message.
If only I could call my parents. They must be so worried about us.
As soon as we get to town, we can try to call them there. Who knows, maybe they're already there, waiting for us.
Tom? Are you sure we're doing the right thing, Tom?
About getting out of here? Well, the television said it's the right thing to do. We've got to get to a rescue station.
I don't know.
Come on now, honey. You're starting to sound like Harry. And we can both agree that nobody wants to live their life sounding like Harry.
But why do you have to go out there? Why can't Harry and Ben handle it and you stay in here? I mean, we're safe in here.
But for how long? We are safe now, but there are going to be more and more of those things.
I know all that. I just...
Hey, remember when we had that big flood? Remember how difficult it was to convince you that it was right for us to leave?
I remember you being just as stubborn. You wanted to pack up the whole house in our tiny car.
And you wanted to stay home. It'll pass over, you said. We can wait it out, you kept telling me.
And you promised that if we leave, you'll take swimming lessons. The next flood we can stay put.
Remember though, we had to leave then for our own safety. Judy, this isn't just a passing thing. It isn't just a wind blowing through. We've got to do something, and fast.
I don't want you to go out there, that's all. I don't want to lose you. What if they get you? What if something happens and you don't make it back?
Hey, where's that big smile? Where's that optimism that always makes me feel safe? Where's that smile that can calm hordes of monsters?
Tom, I can't lose you.
I promise. As long as I think of you, there is nothing that can stop me. We're a team, Judy, right? I won't let anything happen to me. I'll be back quicker than you know, because I won't ever leave you. I won't, Judy. I won't ever leave your side. We're a team, remember?
We're a team, until the very end.
Now let's finish up these cocktails and get the heck out of here.
It is now close to midnight, and our survivors have been finalizing their escape plan. Tom has been pouring kerosene into fruit jars while Helen and Judy dip twisted rags fused in kerosene in the bottom of the jars. Barbara brings the final jars for preparation to the kitchen table as an aura of fear and hope lingers through the air. The television is off, but the radio drones lowly, repeating the recorded messages. As the group finishes the last of the Molotov cocktails, the sound of a loud thud hits the wall. Silence falls over the group as they contemplate how many of the undead now surround the house.
I know it's unlikely, but I think there's a chance. Maybe my brother's still alive. Maybe he was able to crawl to a car. If we can drive over to the cemetery, maybe he's still alive and we can get him help. Maybe.
We have to think of ourselves now, Barbara. It's hard, but it's all we can do. We have to help our group before we can search for others. Oh, Barbara, please don't cry. Maybe once Karen is with a doctor, maybe we can look for your brother.
Excuse me, ladies. Are the cocktails finished yet?
Oh, yes, sorry, we're just finishing them now.
Well, upstairs is all ready. Give me those Molotov cocktails. I'll splash it from upstairs while you make a break for it. Helen, you need to go take care of Karen. Please.
We have to go downstairs now, Barbara.
Then, I don't know.
No, she's right, Barbara. You need to go downstairs just for a little while now, until we get back. But we need you to keep Helen and Karen safe. Then we can all leave.
Oh, I would like to leave, yes.
Good luck, everyone. Harry, are you ready upstairs?
Yeah. Here goes nothing.
Harry opened the window on the second floor. As he looked out, he saw groups of the dead things huddled all over. Some were around the truck, others were in clumps around the trees. Viciously, he began to light the Molotov cocktails and hurled them with all his strength through the window into the unknown. They blew up in explosions of fire and glass on the gravel. And in the yard, walls of flames illuminating the beasts as they staggered fearfully back, moaning softly with a hint of fear. Some of the cocktails hit directly into crowds, and the undead burst into flames like Christmas trees as they ran into more groups, causing the undead to scatter in all directions. As Harry unleashed the barrage, Ben and Tom worked relentlessly on the door, prying the nails away from the wood as effectively as possible. As Harry threw the last cocktail, he bolted towards the stairs to let the others know to set the plan in motion.
Go now! I'll lock the door!
His voice echoes as Tom and Ben burst into the yard. Armed with torches and the rifle, the two men fight their way past the lingering horde towards the truck. Ben cuts through the unsuspecting ghouls with ease, but as Tom reaches the other side of the truck, a monster reaches out from under the vehicle, grabbing his leg. Tom kicks the arm off just in time to avoid two more ghouls reaching for his head as he jumps into the car. Just as Harry runs to lock the door, Judy abandons her post and sprints out the door.
Tom, I'm going to help you. I'm coming with you.
Judy, are you crazy? Get back in here!
No, Tom needs me.
Judy is too fast for Harry. It is Judy sprints out the door after the two men. Harry is left no option but to lock the door. As Judy turns to see what has happened, she is met face to face with three lingering ghouls who are hiding under the porch, the monster's skin gray and one of their eyes bulging from its socket. By now, Tom had fought his way into the truck and was trying to start the engine as a stray undead hammered at the driver's side window, leaving him helpless to save Judy. Ben heard the scream of Judy and, using the butt of the rifle, slammed it into the back of the head of one of the monsters. As the second clawed at Judy's clothing, Ben was able to get in between Judy and her pursuer, and with a flick of his finger delivered a finishing shot to the monster. The scream and shot had attracted the attention of the monsters, who were no longer concerned with the fire and bent on a meal of the two spotted heroes. Judy leapt into the passenger seat and Ben dove into the back of the truck as Tom floored the gas and drove off to the pump. The truck drove over the uneven ground, running over a crawling undead with an unsettling crunching noise. The truck screeched to a halt near the pump, and Tom and Ben leapt out.
You get this thing filled up. I'll cover us.
Attackers began to make their way to the locked pump as Tom fumbles with the key. Noticing the hordes growing closer and closer, Ben shoves Tom out of the way, aims at the lock, and fires, blowing the lock to pieces and causing gas to splash all over the place. Tom crams the nozzle into the mouth of the gas tank, gas still spurting all over the car and the grass, and begins to fill up the truck as Ben leaps into action, picking off the monsters one by one. Unaware of the location of their torch, a trail of gas crawls slowly towards the torch that was laid on the ground when Ben lurched to shoot the lock, and flames quickly dart along the grass and onto the truck.
We gotta get away from the pump! We should have enough gas! I'm getting the truck out of here!
Tom, Judy, No, get out of the car!
Tom, the truck is on fire!
Ben attempted to stomp out the lingering flames as Tom hit the gas and the truck lurched forward away from the pump. Adrenaline and fear overcame Tom's limbs, and he continued to drive the car forward towards the hordes of undead that attached themselves to the truck. The truck was a comet of fire, speeding away into the distance. The car came to a screeching halt as Tom leapt from the truck and began to run. He looked back at the fireball and saw Judy still inside.
Tom, I'm stuck! I can't get out!
Judy! Judy, take my hands! I'll get you out of there!
The truck exploded into a mighty ball of flames, incinerating the lovers stuck inside.
Tom! Judy! No!
Flames leapt about everywhere as the truck lay a smoldering pile of fire. Nearby undead flailed about as they ran from the fire, some of them aflame themselves like waxed paper. Harry, seeing the horrifying incident, abandoned his post and ran for the cellar for safety. Seeing the truck as a lost cause, Ben sprinted as fast as he could to the oncoming hordes to the front door.
Let me in! Let me in! Harry, where are you? Unlock the door and let me in!
With pursuers only feet away from him, Ben kicks through the locked door with all of his might, shattering the lock as he ran in, undead hot on his feet. Ben burst through in time to catch Harry halfway in the cellar door, looking guilty and terrified. But there was no time to deal with him. Ben frantically turned and reboarded the door as the force of the monsters slamming themselves against the door made it all the more difficult to board. All seems lost, just as Harry sprints and helps Ben board up the door. They finish securing the door. For a moment, they are safe. As tensions died down, Ben sucker punches Harry across the face. Harry staggers to his feet as Ben grabs him and punches him a second time. Then a third.
You left me out there to die!
I ought to feed you to one of those things.
Harry! Ben! Tom! What is going on up there? Are we ready to leave?
Come on up, you two. We need to regroup.
Where's Tom? Ben? Where are Tom and Judy? Do they have the truck ready?
Tom and Judy are dead. The truck is destroyed.
The survivors are overwhelmed with hopelessness as they take in the news. Harry sulks in the corner, his face swollen from the licking he took. Barbara and Helen slump onto the couch, defeated and unsure of what to do next. As silence fills the air with uncertainty, Ben paces and checks the defenses, by force of habit rather than of hope. The rifle is slung on his back, and he clutches it tight as the survivors become prisoners in their barricaded house. Ben pulls back the curtain of a window. His eyes grow wide as he sees the scene outside. The explosion sound has attracted twice as many of the creatures to the house. There are what seems like hundreds of ghouls, lurking in the shadows of the trees. Some of them are much nearer to the house than they dared come before, as the flames of the cocktails illuminate the massive hordes. Remains of the charred bodies flicker to reveal the faces and rotting bodies of more and more dead with each passing minute. Ben lets go of the curtains.
Don't any one of you look out there. You won't like what you see.
We'll never get out of here. None of us. We'll never get out of here alive. Johnny! Johnny, why didn't we leave a little earlier in the day? Johnny, are you still alive? Oh, someone help us!
I have got to get that gun. We can get to the cellar and stay safe, but we need to get that gun.
Haven't you had enough already?
2 people are dead on account of that guy. Take a look at the window.
I'm not going to help you. You've done enough damage for one day. Now I'm going to the cellar to take care of Karen. Come on, honey. Come and talk to me. It'll make things better.
Just then, arms of the monsters break through the window barricade and claw relentlessly towards the survivors.
They're trying to get in again. Harry! Harry, I dropped the rifle! Give me a hand! Aim for their heads! I've got another idea in mind. Harry! Harry, what are you doing? Give me the rifle! We need to keep these things out! Harry, why are you aiming that gun at me? You want to stay up here now, Ben? Helen, get in the cellar! Oh, don't worry. We'll take the crazy girl with us, too, and you can stay up here, just like you wanted. Maybe make a couple of new friends. Why you?
Just then, a loud crash echoed out as several ghouls pounded on the timbers of the window. Only they were no longer just at the window. The horrifying echoes around indicated that the monsters were now surrounding the house and trying to get in at every angle. Just as the board came loose, Ben ripped it off and hurled it like a javelin at Harry. The plank cut into Harry's arm, and with a cry of pain, he dropped the rifle. With no hesitation, Ben pounced for the rifle, knocking Harry out of the way. Seeing Ben was within reach, Harry backed away and tried to leave for the cellar, planning to lock everyone else out. Just as he reached the door, Ben took aim with the rifle and blasted a hole into Harry's chest, knocking him down the cellar steps. Helen had no time to grieve and process what had happened, as two ghouls broke through the barricade and grabbed her by the hair and neck. Ben was too occupied fending off the dead attempting to climb in the windows to help Helen. Seeing the two in peril, Barbara knew she could not watch another person get devoured by these monsters that took her brother. Barbara summoned heroic courage and leapt into action. Grabbing the plank thrown at Harry, Barbara chopped at the ghouls' hands until they fell to the floor and freed Helen, only to take her place as three more pairs of arms broke through and began to claw at Barbara.
Helen, help us! Helen, where are you going?
Without a second thought, Helen sprinted from her previous entrapment towards the cellar door, leaving Barbara and Ben to fend for themselves. As Helen ran down the stairs, she spotted an unusual sight in the darkness. The table which had previously held their daughter was empty. Instead, on the ground was Karen, moving and appearing from behind to be healthy. She was hunched over something and appeared to be playing, as if unknown dolls had been found in the cellar, and Karen used her first ounce of freedom to make believe a story.
Karen? Oh, my sweet baby, you're up! Oh, thank goodness. Are you feeling better, honey? Here, let Mommy see you. Karen, what are you playing with, darling? Let me see how you're feeling.
But as Helen touched her daughter's shoulder gently, her skin felt cold and unfeeling.
Oh, my sweet baby, you don't feel warm, but something is wrong. Karen, darling, what is that you're playing with just now?
Just as soon as the tender motherly love moment had started, the nightmare swiftly began as Helen felt a sharp, flesh-tearing bite into her shoulder. She screamed and pulled Karen back to reveal something that looked like her daughter, but also something entirely different. Karen's sweet yellow sundress was stained with dark red liquid, blood, but not Helen's, for she quickly looked at the object she thought Karen was playing with and identified it as the corpse of her late husband, whose stomach had been bitten into. Helen let out a scream for help, but soon was silenced by the claws of her only child. The daughter that Helen and Harry had fought so valiantly to save ended up being their downfall. Karen continued the onslaught long after the cries of her mother and father had ceased, never remembering the bond she once shared and only led by hunger. Upstairs, Ben and Barbara fought for their lives as the onslaught of the undead continued. Every passing moment, wooden planks splintered and cracked all along the house, and dozens more gray, rotting hands clawed their way into the home.
I can't hold the door much longer. They're going to get in.
Barbara, there are too many of them. We have to make a break for the cellar.
Just then, the door Barbara had been using all of her might to hold together splintered and cracked apart, pushing Barbara like a rag doll onto the ground.
Barbara! Grab something to fight them off and help me! We can make a break for the cellar, but I need your help!
But Barbara only sat in shock and terror, staring forward at the monster leading the charge, a member of the undead with an all-too-familiar polka dot tie that she had gifted a birthday long past.
Johnny? Johnny, is that you? No. No, please, what have they done to you?
Barbara, no!
Barbara lovingly reached her hand towards her brother, she believed to be long gone. For a moment, he tenderly reached for her hand as the siblings' eyes locked and the threat of the world faded away. Finally, Barbara and her brother were reunited. All too quickly, the moment passed as Johnny's loving brotherly reach turned into a vicious attack as his nails sank into Barbara's arm. She screamed as the former brother she once loved grabbed her and pulled her towards the door. The undead fell upon her as they dragged her outside, ripping and tearing as Barbara fought on with all her might. Barbara's screams were mercifully halted just as soon as they began, and the last sight she saw was Johnny.
Barbara! No! Damn you things! Damn you to hell! Barbara!
Ben knew there was no choice but to leave the house to become overwhelmed as he leapt back just in time for the windows to cave in and the undead to climb their way through every opening. Ben walked backwards towards the cellar, with rifle in hand. Just as he got to the cellar entrance, he felt a chill down his spine and turned just in time to see Karen, the sweet child-turned-carnivorous monster, lunge towards him. He dodged her attack and shoved her into the crowd of monsters as he quickly closed and locked the cellar door. The loud pounding of the monsters was unsettling, but Harry was right, that the cellar door would hold no matter how many of those things tossed themselves at it. Ben walked down the stairs to witness the horrifying scene below, the barely recognizable body of Helen and the sad-looking remains of Harry.
Harry. Helen. I'm so sorry.
Ben closed the eyes of Helen, letting her rest finally. He went to close the eyes of the saddened Harry, when suddenly one eye twitched, then the other. Then they locked onto Ben as Harry slowly began to reanimate and pull himself up to attack Ben.
Harry, I'm sorry.
Ben aimed the rifle and put Harry out of his undead prison. As he did this, the sound of a low growl came from behind. Ben turned to see Helen reanimating. With determination to do what was right for the couple, he delivered a final blow to Helen as well, ending her nightmare. Ben was alone, the sole survivor of the group. Ben's emotions finally catch up to him as he tosses the rifle against the wall, flips over the table which recently held Karen's dying body, and fell into the corner. He thought of his family, his kids, of Tom and Judy, and of Barbara. For the first time since the threat started, Ben wept. He took several deep breaths as his body finally allowed him to drift off to sleep, as the faint pounding and growling of creatures is heard above. The next day, hope had arrived. In the distant field, Sheriff McClelland and his troop arrived. Dozens of men and women armed to the teeth with undead killing equipment. The team took out more undead on their way to the house than they'd ever taken out in previous days.
Come on now, team. Step lively now. Never can tell what we'll run into up here.
Looks like they had some type of undead birthday party, huh, Sheriff? I'm beating my personal record for these things and it's not even lunchtime.
George, get about 4 or 5 men and a couple of dogs around. There's a house up ahead. Looks like it's littered with those things' bodies, though. Let's go check it out. National Guard says they got the city all cleaned up and survivors all being taken care of. So this is one of the last spots to clean up.
The rest of the city sounds like it's under control. Should we round up here and head back, or should we call it a day and send in the National Guard?
Well, we've been at it all night and day. Tell them we got this covered. Might as well clean up the last little bit, huh? George, tell the men I don't want us to take a break until we get through with that house over there. Well, clean up. See if there's anyone there who needs help, then head back home for some coffee.
Anything you say, boss.
As Ben lay sleeping in the cellar, he is woken to a peculiar sound. The sound of dogs barking. The sound of gunshots, not just from rifles, but heavy equipment coming from upstairs, probably in the yard. Ben sneaks up to the top of the stairs, listening by the door to be sure there were not any more creatures lurking in the house. For the house was silent, save for the heroic sounds of shots coming from the yard. As he listens closely, he can hear men shouting orders from the yard.
Take a look at this fella's car. Poor guy never had a chance, it looks like. George, I'll take a group around the back to finish up what's left. You take a couple men and check the house. Be careful though, might be survivors in there. Doubt it on account of how many of these things are lit in the area.
It was now or never for Ben. He eased the cellar door open and found nothing in the house. No one dead or alive besides himself and those in the cellar. These people he heard must have taken care of the hordes. Outside, the sounds of activity grew closer. A great feeling of hope and relief welled up within him. In a few hours, he would be safe in a hospital bed, surrounded by the living. Maybe his family was okay, and he could get word to them and see them in a day or two. Weak from hunger and dehydration, Ben crept up to the window cautiously and pried off the remaining boards. He pulled back the curtain to call for help.
Looks like one of those things is still in there. Yup, I see it shambling around near the window. You know the drill, boys. Aim between the eyes.
Good shot, Deputy. Looks like one of those things was still lumbering around in there. All right, everyone. Help me round up any bodies you find, pile them up and burn them, and we'll call it a day.
I wonder who was here when those things attacked.
Well, whoever it was, they sure put up one heck of a fight. Let's head back to the city. And, Deputy, once we get there, let's have our doctor take a look at that bite you got. It looks like it's getting infected. Might want to see what we can do for that.
Sure thing, Sheriff, but it's just a little bite. What's the worst that could come from it?
All right, light up the pile and let's load out, everyone. Great work.
7 survivors went into that farmhouse on that dreadful evening, and none came out. The National Guard and local teams of law enforcement were able to make quick work of the remaining hordes throughout the nation, so Ben and the others were preciously close to rescue when they met their untimely demise. While many had made it out to share their stories, this unfortunate group of hard-boiled survivors were unable to share their tale of the night of the living dead.
This concludes our special Halloween presentation. We would like to take this time to thank our wonderful sponsors of this program once again. The White Horse Tavern on West Court Street in downtown Flint, the Greater Flint Arts Council, and the Genesee County Art Education and Cultural Enrichment Millage. May you all have a safe and fun Halloween, and may you and your family get the best candy in all the neighborhood. Join us again when FCP Radio presents its next presentation. Thank you from all of us here at FCP Radio, and good night.
And we're off the air. Great work, everyone. Thank you to every one of you who took the time out of your busy schedule to listen to and watch our production. From all of us at Flint Community Players, have a happy Halloween. All right, everyone, that's a wrap. Go on home. Your checks are in the mail. Woohoo!